Well, hello there, and welcome to our podcast, Up Unwind, with Zeé and Roderick, inspired by our life experiences, where we share our loves of movies, TV series, books, and video games, and also get real with our thoughts on all things concerning life and faith. You can find us on YouTube and Spotify. Hit the subscribe, follow, or sign up button so you don't miss an episode. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of our podcast, Up Unwind with Zeé and Roderick.
Hey guys.
This is our final episode for this series, for series 3.
Sadly.
Right, I know. It went by so quickly. And we're going to end on a good note. As always, every series has a check-in and a walk down memory lane. So we're taking you on a walk down memory lane today with our guest, my bestie, MK.
Woo!
Hey,
Welcome to
girl.
the
Hi.
We are so happy to have you here because this walk down memory lane is kind of it's mine, but it's yours as well because I got you into it. So if you guys have been watching the series so far, you will have heard several times Roderick mentioning, "Oh, what about Twilight? What about Twilight?" And I say it's a conversation for another day, and today is that conversation. So
It's time to get into it.
It's time to get into it, right? Okay, so let's go. So obviously, I think the first Twilight, right, came out 2007. Let me check that. Hopefully that's
You would know. You would
right.
know.
Yeah.
I caught onto the
I'm
train.
surprised you don't know that.
Nope, I was wrong.
You know what I mean? Timelines.
No, I was wrong. 2008, not 7. Sorry, 2008. The first one, yes, came out 2008. And I remember because my younger sister was she had read the books before, so she was into them. She was very excited. And as siblings, we tried to get each other into stuff we're into. Sometimes doesn't end well. And this was one of those. We didn't get into it. Me personally, I found it cringe. I was like, no, thank you, I'm good. Couldn't sit through it. Wasn't interested. Then the second one came out obviously following year, 2009. I tried. Emphasis on tried because I booked my ticket. Back then, MK, I don't know if you remember, back then you couldn't book tickets online. You have to buy it at the till.
Oh, when you go to the counter,
Yeah, yes. Then
different time.
Then you couldn't book online, so you have to go in. And I remember I went in, and it was around when the movie just came out, so it was still pretty early, which meant I got a really bad seat. In front.
When you say bad, where were you in the screen?
I was in front. Literally, I think like 2 or 3 rows.
Like right at the front.
Yeah, at the front.
Goodness me.
And obviously it's not good.
Your eyes must have been like burning.
It's not a good position. Yeah, exactly. Just like that. Like your head bent backwards.
That is painful.
And then all that light and sound. Yeah, man.
Yep,
that's a bit much. It's a bad seat. We
that's a punishment.
A really bad seat. And also it was New Moon, which was this Team Edward, Team Jacob thing. And obviously Jacob every time took his shirt off. I mean, I was a teenager myself, but I mean, younger teenagers than me, it got annoying really quickly because every time Jacob took off his shirt, people were screaming.
Oh gosh.
That got annoying, but that's the first movie I've ever walked out of. Because I couldn't. No, the screaming.
It was that bad.
The seats. It got annoying really quickly, so I left. I was like, no. I did buy the DVD because my younger sister and I were always in HMV, so she made me buy it, and I went, I'm gonna go Team Edward because I found Jacob very annoying. So I
miss HMV.
Dude, HMV.
I miss that store, man.
It's the spot.
It's one of those, man.
It's one of those, memories, isn't it? I got I got the Tim Edward cover of the DVD. So at this point I had the first movie, and the second one on DVD. Now Eclipse came out again following year, 2010. Couldn't be asked, didn't see it.
Right.
Now 2011, I think I remember being from 2010 to 2011, I was in this like depressive state, basically. So I wasn't doing so well. And my comfort zone when I'm in that state is to go into a bubble, like skip all of reality and just disappear into something. And I looked around my house. It's either a movie or a book. That's my thing. That's my comfort. And I said, you know what? I've read every book on this shelf. Let me check the DVDs. And the only DVD I hadn't watched was Twilight. And I said, you know what? Today's the day. Let's do it. And for the love of me, I can't tell you what it was. For some reason, Twilight looked different. It looked.
But you could read it. Wait, did you say you had the books or you?
No,
had
I
DVDs,
I just had the DVDs. I just had
so
those.
you just
two
watched
DVDs.
it and then
So I just watched those two. And I
Wait,
went.
is there a book as well?
Yes, it's from
based
a
on the
book.
book.
It's based on the
Goodness
book.
me.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's based off a book.
It's just Roderick saying like goodness me.
That's-
It's like goodness me.
Yeah.
So I watched it and I went, you know what, I need to watch more. So I went out, got Eclipse, again, HMV, and Waterstones, because I went to get the books as well. Got all the books, got the Eclipse DVD, and I said, I'm going home, I'm going to watch. Watched Eclipse. I think I watched all 3 DVDs multiple times. I watched Eclipse more because Eclipse had, they always have like behind the scenes and then commentaries and stuff included in them. And I liked the commentary because it was of the actors who played Edward and Bella, Robert Pattinson and Kristen Stewart. So, and their commentary was really fun to listen to.
Because they were watching it back together, and that's how they recorded
and it's so funny
responding to it.
Yeah, because they were in different places. I don't know how they recorded that, but they were in different places, basically different parts of the world at the time, because they were both filming different stuff. And they did a commentary for it. It was so beautiful. I loved it. So you're hearing them talking as you're watching the movie, which was amazing. Now, Breaking Dawn came out, Breaking Dawn Part 1. I already knew from reading the book, I knew where it was going to cut off, like where Part 1 was going to cut off and Part 2 was going to begin. Now, in waiting for Breaking Dawn Part 1, I would talk to anybody and everybody who would listen to me talk about Twilight. People thought I was crazy. A lot of people thought I was crazy because they would go, "You're obsessed. You're obsessed, Zeé. I'm worried. You're obsessed."
I mean, you sound obsessed.
To be fair,
I was like, I'm gonna be real with you.
To be fair, I was. But for where my mental state was at the time,
it was an obsession.
It wasn't an obsession, to be fair, because
you said comfort. You started off with comfort.
It was comfort.
Remember, that was your
basically it was comfort. So it didn't look obsession to me sounds like dangerous territory. And I wasn't there. So when people were so obsessed, I would get upset. And I go, I'm not obsessed. And I think MKU and I weren't really friends then. But she was the only one who was like eager to hear me.
And even my story, my connection to Twilight, but I'm sure you asked me later. But when you told me Twilight, I was like, I could finally be this part of myself with this person. Because I had another friendship group. It was somebody's birthday, and we recreated the pictures on my profile picture on Facebook. We recreated a picture of the hands and the apple. So for my friend's birthday, we put all our hands together holding apples each. Beautiful. We put it at the front for her Twilight themed birthday party. And the thing is, I was also like, I didn't get into like everybody else, like you said.
Yeah.
I was like, this is like a teenage thing. Every time this one takes the top off, blah, blah, blah. That's what I kept hearing. So I didn't rush. I think I only started watching maybe on the 3rd one because of you. I hadn't properly watched it until I'd met you. But it was there in the background. Do you know what I mean? I was like, do I want to read the book? I don't know. But my connection, when I found her, I was like, what do you mean they're calling you obsessed? People think I'm obsessed with Lion King, for example. But for you, they saw it as Twilight, but they don't know the comfort. Yeah, man. Those things, it might seem silly. I don't know, Roderick. There's things that are comfort to you that maybe other people are like.
It's true, though. It's true. It's true. Hey,
But
I'm a fan of Sonic the Hedgehog, so some people think
Hey,
it's weird to not like him
see,
as an adult. So
nah,
see,
man.
it's
we
understandable.
Yeah.
we all have what brings us joy in some way. I think
Hmm.
you and I, it was a slight beginning of our friendships around that period. So we got kind of
Yes.
really close because you were the only one who was really interested in hearing me talk about Twilight and not looking at me like I was crazy. So obviously, I bring on that year when it came out, because in America, obviously, I was following the news, following everything that was going on, in America, and
Mm.
you could see how they could camp. They would camp out for days, for the premiere. And obviously, I don't think we don't really have that because I looked that up. I had to set down. It says, no, you can't really do that kind of 3-day camping. But we did find out was that you could camp out like a day, like the night before at Westfield, Stratford, when it was just being built. It was opening. I think that just opened, newly opened, that was going to be opening. That's where they had the premiere because usually movie premieres get held in Leicester, right?
Oh,
Held in Leicester, but they moved it to Westfield that year, which was shocking.
wow.
I remember calling my younger sister and I went, it's gonna be in Stratford. What are we doing? And she goes, let's go. Let's go. But my sister had to get permission from my mom because she was gonna have to skip school the next day because we're obviously
Ah,
camping. And my mom was like, yeah, go, knock yourself out, have fun. And we
wow.
went,
It was that easy.
yeah, we went because my mom knew how much she loved, the movie series. So my mom was like, go have fun. And she was gonna be with me. She was by herself. Obviously, my mom would say no. So we both went, we slept.
Fair.
We didn't sleep, to be fair, we didn't. We got there like 12 a.m. There was already a line, but it wasn't that much. We got there, sat down. I had downloaded movies on my laptop, so I was watching that for till I think 7 a.m. was when they let us in and they all gave us wristband. But here's the thing. Everybody else got their wristbands and went in to still like form a queue, like the barriers and everything, get a good spot. My sister and
Dang.
I said, no, thank you. We're going home. So we left. We went home to sleep, shower, eat, then come back. And then we came back because I think the premiere was starting like 6 p.m. at the time.
Yeah.
And we came back. Obviously, outside was all packed up. So we said, okay, we're going inside. They kept directing us go inside. But by the time we got inside, it's packed. So we're way
Ah,
at the back. And then I was much tinier. So every chance, when people are moving up and down, you're kind of creating space in some way. So I just kept shimmering myself. My younger sister was like, no, I don't want to. I don't want to. And I was like, I'm going to leave you because I'm going to the front. I'm not staying all the way at the back. So I literally left at the back and I came to the front. I found myself in front of the barrier, like just in front, in front. And
well, there you go.
I was right there. The stars came. I was so happy. We couldn't, by the time they got inside, they were very tired. So they weren't really taking pictures inside, but they were still
Ah,
signing stuff. So I got a couple of my Twilight books. I think all of them at this point signed by the three main stars, obviously. I was so
oh,
happy by that. I was this close to them. So that was like the highlight of my year. I remember being so excited. After the premiere, I mean, a couple of weeks later, I got sick because obviously it was cold, but it
yeah,
was
fair
all
enough.
worth it. It was worth it because I was so happy. I was so excited. I was like, got my book signed, got my book signed. I mean, MK, I told MK about it. We're all very excited. Then I think, I'll leave this part for you. The following year, Breaking Down Part 2. You remember what happened, Breaking Down Part 2?
I'll drop associations and then you can
But-
continue the
Okay.
story. Because
Okay. So,
so this time the premiere was in Leicester.
Leicester.
I always get Leicester Square, like
Leicester
actual
Square,
red
yeah.
carpet.
Yeah.
So I know somebody that worked for E1 Entertainment at the time, a close friend of mine at the time, and he was like, "Do you want some tickets to the premiere?" Because he knew about me and Zee's thing with Twilight, and it was like, help me get the box set and like certain things. And I didn't realize he could have got us actually a lot of franchises, but I just, with my friendships, I'm like, yeah, I didn't know that. So when I said tickets, this one, I said, no, I think I'm allowed to take this one. Take someone to come with me, and he was like, listen, you refuse everything else. I think this one, I was like, knowing the story that she just shared. And I just remember like Zeé and her sister there camping out at things. So I was just like, right, imagine like the level up was you're there. I remember she froze. She'll continue.
Yeah, okay.
She
so
froze.
she
And I was like,
initially
Zeé, give me the camera.
You froze?
she told me she got tickets, and I think she was tricked me that she was taking someone else, and I was like, oh guys, go have fun, I'm gonna follow it online and everything. And then next she kept telling me she needs to do my hair, and I go,
That
Emily,
is
I don't want
diabolical.
to do my hair.
Remember that?
And she was like, let me do your hair, let me do your hair. So she did my hair, and I went, okay, fine. And then she goes, I think it was the day she was doing my hair, she was like, oh, so now you look beautiful, we can go to the premiere. I was like, what the hell are you all about?
Oh, you always looked beautiful. What do you mean?
I mean, like, no, like now your hair is like extra beautiful, you're ready, kind of thing. Like, like,
that
yeah,
must be
you're
part of the
ready.
surprise. I don't
Let's
remember this memory lane. Wow.
we're gonna go to premiere. And I think I almost cried at this. I was like, no, I'm gonna go to
Oh,
serious. So we
No.
get there all dressed up, everything, and because I wasn't that far from where they were, to be fair, she said I did freeze up because I was just staring
Shock.
at them, and the
You're like,
security, one of those big guys, was just like, Miss, you need to keep moving. I was like, oh. And I
oh,
kept
that must have been scary, to be
I
honest.
I kept going, oh my God, I kept looking back and almost walked into there's a girl group called the Saturdays, and I almost walked into one of them because I didn't look at where I was going. Where I was
Oh,
going.
those
jeez.
are the days she was.
And I was like, I'm
Yeah, it
so
was.
sorry. And they were so
Oh.
sweet. So it was like, no, it's okay. I was like, I'm so sorry. Thank you. You look lovely. And then we went into the movie. We watched the movie. And I think at some point during the movie, like, obviously we had the big scene where we're like, oh, thinking, And then towards the end, the song came up, 1,000 Years came up. And obviously, when you're thinking, I'm going to cry, this is going to be emotional, but you don't realize you are actually really going to cry. And
Oh,
the
wow.
waterworks just came out. Like
It's
I was
automatic.
crying. And she looked to me and she was like, oh my God, you were crying. I was like, just wailing. I
Straight
was like,
waterfall.
okay, it's over.
Because yeah, and that's when it was, because I realized I was even releasing my own way, because I got into it because of the music and the cinematography, and I was like, they took me on a journey, and now this journey has, especially if it's entwined in your own comfort and your own other things, For me, I looked at it, I said, no, this one's a release because it's now hit you. This is it. That's the end of the road for this story. And what it gave you, what it brought you, and then wow. And then did we not find out that, because in Leicester Square, I think they were showing it in three cinemas.
Yeah.
And then one of the leading stars was in
cinema.
each.
Yeah.
So who was it? Jacob? Was it
I can't
Taylor
remember.
Lautner? I keep thinking it's Taylor
I can't remember.
Lautner.
It was one of them. Was in there. Yeah, we found that after, I think when they walked out on cinema, we're like, when they were in there all this
when they did the whole
That's
flashbacks and everything, I was like, oh my God, you know what? Yeah, this thing brought a lot for people. That song, 1,000 Years, and then
there are, I think Twilight OST is amazing. The soundtracks are just beautiful. My favorites will still always be, hold on, let me find it. I think
I gotta listen to these soundtracks.
no, the soundtrack, my favorites will still be, I mean, we have Bruno Mars, It's a Rain, Christina Perry, 1,000 Years. Then Northern Lights is a cool one because it's the scene where Northern Lights scene is
sorry. That's the one that made me love Twilight. I said on that song alone.
That scene, Northern Lights has that, because it's such a beautiful scene when that song comes. The scene where Bella is her wedding, and she, she thinks her best friend Jacob isn't going to be there, and then he shows up, and they have their own separate dance out of everybody else, and that song is playing in the
That sounds
background.
beautiful.
Like, oh, my heart. And I think one other one by where is it? Hold on. I think it's called, I can't remember what it's called, but it's by Imperial Mammoth. I don't know if I'm saying that right. It's a song that plays when Bella finds out she's pregnant.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, actually played that song on my best friend's her baby shower, the one I threw for her first son, and she actually loves the song. It's such a beautiful song. But yeah, okay, so that song by Imperial, the song by Imperial Mammoth, I can't remember what it's called. Hope I'm also saying that name correctly. But it's such a beautiful song. It's a song that plays when Bella finds out she's pregnant and she has to protect her baby because everybody is like, no, we don't know what that is. We need to get that out of you, kind of thing. And she's like, no, it's my baby. I'm keeping it, kind of situation. But
Yeah.
I think once the whole thing was over, even though I was only, in my bubble for a short period of time, it still gave me comfort because I was in that headspace for a while, which wasn't a good headspace. And then being in that safe bubble, I would say, because of the comfort Twilight gave me, even after I was feeling much better, I was still, oh my God, I love Twilight. So I was in this space, I was kind of, let me say, Twilight limbo for a while, even after everything had ended, because it was kind of sad. This was a journey for me. So
It
I had
felt
to,
almost like you were grieving it as well, weren't you?
basically,
That's what the overflow of tears were to me when I was like, wait, you're actually, and then
yeah.
because it's the overflow, isn't it?
And
Yeah.
the end credit was so beautiful because it started off with them like from the last movie, then showed them to the first one. So it was kind of
Oh, flashback.
road. It was,
Like
yeah.
a memory lane,
And
yeah.
then it showed their names, their actual
Oh,
real names afterwards, and it was and who they played basically. So it was such a beautiful end credit. I don't know if you watch Black Panther, you can say Black Panther, I think the beginning, how that kind of stands. It reminds me
yeah,
of
yeah, yeah.
Twilights in that way. I don't know why.
Oh, okay.
So it was just beautiful. I will say me now watching Twilight, it hits differently because obviously I'm much older now. Um,
Yeah.
I don't have the same. I think if I watch it, it's just for nostalgia. It's not because, oh my
Mm-hmm.
God, this is like the
Mm,
greatest movie of all times. No, it's not. It's just, okay, this was a movie that got me through a really hard time.
Mm.
And so I will watch it just because of
yeah.
that. But I can't remember the last time I actually watched Twilight. Every time I think, because now it's become like a skit or a thing for people where they do it online, like, oh my God, how Twilight was, or this, that. And I laugh because I'm like, wow, how did I get into this movie? That I have to remind myself that, you know what, you weren't doing so well mentally. It's why you got into this movie. Because it's a bit, me before I watched the movie, I wasn't into it either. So
Mm.
obviously, I understand why people feel the way they feel about Twilight. I mean, it's for fun, it's for laugh, but
It's got layers to it.
yeah,
Honestly, it's got layers to it.
yeah,
So it's like
it
for me, I
does.
had to
So
keep justifying the fact that I love the cinematography. I love this
yeah,
music. Don't ask me about the storyline. Yes, I know it's silly.
so yeah,
Just don't.
Is it that bad?
I just know, but I have to give it credit for what they captured and knowing the behind the scene. That's why I like listening to the commentary. Or
yeah,
was it director's cut? I can't remember. But then I went to go and actually look further, went down a rabbit hole, and I was like, oh, the cinematography and the music.
and the
I got to
music.
discover new
Oh,
artists through I
yeah,
was like,
same here.
and I'm rewatching like Vampire Diaries right now. I just have that. Sometimes I just want a bit of something different. And it
Yeah,
reminds me, there's so many of the songs that are Twilight that are in Vampire Diaries. I was like, wait, I was downstairs. I was like,
Oh,
music as well. It's what was left with us, not just the
yeah,
comfort. So, and it's
yeah.
connected to other things. So, yeah.
I think Twilight started this
wow.
whole vampire. It started like a vampire movement. And from
Yeah,
there,
pretty
all the
much.
other like vampire series, movies started to come out. And then people got into them based off, Twilight, because it was, oh, if you've seen Twilight, you might love this. So which is how I think Vampire Diaries was first advertised. Like if you
There's been other things even
yeah,
before Twilight was
even
there. You
Twilight,
had
but I
like
don't
Brooklyn
think people
and vampires or something.
yeah,
And even something currently, there's
yeah.
vampire stuff and
yeah, there
do you
was.
know what I mean? Like it's been there, but that it's like the fans really pushed it to the forefront where it was like,
Yeah.
okay, now more fiction and other stuff are coming
Mhm.
out. Like, yeah.
I
No,
think
yeah.
it hit a younger fan base. It hit a fan
That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
the vampire stuff wasn't really hitting. And
And
now
I guess Dracula didn't do it for everyone.
exactly.
Nah.
Dracula was a bit
He
No,
was that guy
not
over
at all.
there.
Do you know what I mean? Who's that?
Dracula was a bit scary.
That's the
So that's a bit hard for people to get into. That was a bit scary. So I think with Twilight, that's the fan base got different. So
Yeah.
So it started something, and then other vampire stuff where people could actually watch, depending on the age, more started to appeal to those, I guess, that kind of age range. And everybody was like, oh, okay, oh, if you like Twilight, you like this.
Yeah.
But necessarily. But all in all, I just feel nostalgia when I think of Twilight. And I remember the joy and the comfort it brought me. Will I sit and watch Twilight today? Not really.
Really? No way. Wow.
But I will listen to the soundtrack. That's there because I still listen to the soundtrack to this day. So that is a definite. That
Is
one.
that a ringtone?
No, none of it is my ringtone. Goblin is my ringtone. Sorry.
Yeah.
Not
Fair enough.
I feel
Goblin
like it was a
soundtrack.
period. It was a period of a time, right?
Yeah.
So different things hit you differently now, where you're like, okay, I wouldn't have it as this,
Yeah.
but I'll listen to the music. That's how I am with certain things.
Yeah.
Now, remember how I said, so Roderick, we didn't hear from you. How did you even, your experience with Twilight?
I've never watched Twilight.
So
I've never
that's
seen
what I'm
it.
saying, Z. We have to like do something where we actually take.
It would be
Roderick
nice to
through
like do
this.
like a marathon.
Yeah, do you know what I mean?
Possible.
And like,
yeah.
do you know, and do something. It's gonna be. You could be doing something else in the back as if you're doing something else. But actually, like, should we like, like.
I mean, it's something.
Definitely.
Get the reaction afterwards, like a part of your next season or something.
Yeah.
Like Roderick finally watches Twilight. It's like I don't know. I want to get your thoughts on it. Like
we
knowing
could
what
do
you
that.
had.
We could.
Yeah, because I know when we did a movie series. Format. We did a movie series last series for series 2. So obviously there were movies you've never even heard of or watched.
Yeah.
So I think maybe for next year we do another movie series and then get you on a lot of like the movies you haven't watched to see.
Yeah.
Okay, Roderick has finally watched Gladiator. Or
Roderick exactly.
watched Twilight.
Yeah.
Let's get his input.
My first impressions.
Basically, yeah. So
real reactions, like, yeah.
Exactly. It'll be cool to do that, to be honest.
Yeah, that's something we can most definitely do. But yeah, Twilight still lives in my heart, to be fair, in terms of
same
feelings, the comfort. But watching, I would say, I'll never discourage anybody if you say you want to check Twilight out. Go watch it and form your own opinions. I won't tell you, oh, it was bad, it's so terrible, it's so this. No, you may watch it and see it differently. My elder sister wasn't really into it, and I think her last pregnancy or the one before that, she sat and literally watched the whole thing because it was on Netflix at some point.
Like a marathon, like,
and she loved it. She was like, actually really like Twilight. She was like, it's actually not bad. Coming from someone who did a whole commentary one time, I was watching it and just kept making me laugh. That was like a huge jump from that to that.
But what did that feel like now, having that, like, oh, she's watched it now?
Yeah, I mean, she said she liked. It's not like she hated it. It was just
but she got to see what you liked about it.
Yeah, she found it comedic. for her.
Yeah, it was entertaining.
So like, how many movies are there in Twilight?
5.
5. Okay.
What are the titles again?
I was thinking it was 3.
Sorry, no, 4. So there's
Eclipse,
New Moon, there's Twilight, there's
right?
New Moon, there's Eclipse,
New
and
Moon.
Breaking Dawn. So yes,
so this is
5.
like a Toy Story
Part 1,
thing.
Part 2.
Yeah, so it's
Okay.
it's 5 movies, but 4 books.
Twilight. Oh,
Goodness me.
Twilight,
really?
4.
Oh, yeah.
Breaking
Would
Dawn,
be
yeah.
Twilight, New
New
Moon,
Moon,
Eclipse, then Breaking
Breaking
Dawn.
Dawn. But Breaking Dawn was split
Okay,
Goodness
to 2
me.
parts, yeah,
into
for the
2
film.
parts.
Yeah,
They
goodness
were
me,
milking
honestly.
it.
You need to get your tag back. Goodness me,
They
yes, yes.
they were
were.
milking the
They
series.
knew they got people by the. They
Mhm.
got them by the
Goodness.
chokehold. They were like, "Yes, you want some more? You want
It's like
some
a
more?
Toy Story
Yeah."
thing.
Yeah,
Wow.
let's split this one into 2. But they actually filmed all of it all at once, didn't it? Breaking Dawn
No.
and no, didn't
Really?
they go back for reshoot? There was a time when
Yeah.
they went back for reshoot. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Okay, actually, no. I
They
think
had budget.
no, actually, I think they filmed it all at once. Then they split it.
Yeah, because I mixed
But
it
when
up with
they-
something
yeah.
else, I think.
No, they filmed it all at once. But when the second one was coming out, they had to do some reshoots.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
they had
Okay.
some reshoots.
Okay. Trust Z
That's
to know.
crazy.
Of course.
Yeah, because the second one is a bit different. Because we obviously get to see Bella differently and everything, and new
I
vampire.
just realized they mimicked the same thing in Vampire
Yeah.
Diaries when
Yeah.
Elena turns.
and
They
new
try
vampire.
and show her in that same profile of just lying down there, and I was like, the CGI technology, all of that was interesting to see. Like the mechanics behind what you see on the screen. I'm interested in that rather than because I really want to see like Roderick finally watches
I mean,
Twilight.
if there's somewhere I can watch it, then I'll do a marathon. If you guys know where.
Check Netflix. They might still have it. Check Netflix.
Okay.
Probably still do.
Is it the whole collection?
Oh, you have Now TV. Check Now TV.
Yeah.
They probably
I checked it. It doesn't have it.
It doesn't have it. Oh.
Yeah, it doesn't have it.
Sorry, check
Netflix. Do you have a DVD player?
Nope.
No.
We might have to do a hangout before the new year ends, maybe.
Yeah.
We could do.
But
and I don't mind inviting you guys over to watch either on the projector or DVD and just make it an evening. Like
That sounds cool.
I
and
think
have some nice balance. And then Roderick, you're gonna tell us what do you need, bro? Like,
I just want to see what this is all about. Like, I want to see what the hype
that's
is.
what I'm saying. I want to hear your commentary. That's the one. I want him to. I can see Roderick going like, now why would you do that?
Yeah, I probably would say that.
Silly.
That would be fun. But I think
that would be fun.
Twilight had new, some actors we've never heard of before, which was the introduction of the last one, introduction of new vampires and brother new actors that we ended up just loving and everything. But so far it's good. So I will say everybody, you want to give it a try, watch it. It's fun. And form your own opinions. Don't let anyone persuade you from
Yeah.
Exactly.
Raw and honest,
Watch whatever you want to watch.
Yeah, watch whatever.
Exactly. Just do you.
Form your own opinions. But that's it for us, guys.
Yeah.
Hope you enjoyed listening to us on this journey and form your own opinions. Watch Twilight if you will.
Exactly.
Yes.
Roderick?
Thank you, Z. Thank you.
Yeah, follow us on our social media, YouTube, subscribe to our channel, and let us know your Twilight stories down below.
MK, it was a joy to have you. And
it was lovely to have you.
Of course, nostalgia is my thing, guys. It's my thing. Okay.
I'm loving the Lion King cup, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
The Hakuna Matata cup you have there.
Well, hopefully,
about Twilight, but you know,
hopefully we will have you back on for probably one of our next walk down memory lane, and you can tell us about.
Love that. I love.
Yeah,
that would be great.
So, what did you say? You can.
I said for our next walk down memory lane, and you can tell us about Lions. That'll be fun.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah, we need to talk
because
I need to know what you lot. I need to know what your schedule is like before October, before I leave. Okay.
Yeah. Definitely.
I need a date because I'm taking you guys to the musical. Okay, just let me know.
Oh, okay.
So
before the year ends. Thanks,
this is it for us, guys.
See you guys.
Bye, guys.
in the state of Washington.